That's with Matt and Mike.
You can even hear the crackling.
You can. We are doing our monthly live. We're going to let some people check in. For anybody that is viewing the live for the first time, we usually do about an hour, give or take, depending on how much technology issues we have. As always, tell us if our sound sucks. Last time we used boom mic that Mike got and for his phone, and it seemed to have worked pretty well after the first few minutes. And Mike's got my Bluetooth on.
It's off.
Already technical issues. Gosh. So yeah, we having problems.
Sound is a little sketchy.
Sketchy again. God. We stink at this.
Is that any better?
Give us if the sound is any better. If it's just simply quiet, let us know. If it's like, acting funny, then let us know.
Plug it back in.
Still poor? That sounds good. I just heard it.
It's scratchy when you... There we go.
All right, testing again. I'm sorry, everybody.
That's weird.
Testing. I swear one of these days we'll get through this without problems.
There we go.
Okay, don't touch the phone. Don't touch the mic. This is our problem. We try and use like the boom mic and wander around, and then as soon as you like these cell phone mics,
There we go.
it starts having issues. So
Let me pull up the live chat.
turn our sound down. There's a delay. Okay. So yeah, everybody that's joining in, as always, we do questions for the live. We usually, anybody's got questions about videos that happened in the past, month or whatever, or upcoming, or events, or any of that stuff. Probably a little later on in the live, we will do some walking around and show you guys some of the stuff. But let's just get everybody in, get a few minutes of the live actually working.
We need to do this in front of the fire more often.
Yeah.
This is quite pleasant.
This is awesome. So it's been like this has been like one of our consistently coldest winters in a while here. I know every time I make a comment about cold, we get all these people that live in like the North Pole that, or wherever, that like to pound their chest and tell us how much colder it is. I get it. It's colder in other parts of the world than it is here. We're not as tough as you, but...
I'm tough. Matt's not.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. But anyways, for us here in our location in Pennsylvania, where we're at, it has been a very cold winter, consistently cold. We get cold, single digits, 0, whatever, but it's been like, weeks of like not even over freezing, which is kind of unusual. We usually get like a week and then it'll be,
30s and 40s.
Yeah, but it's been like really, like the whole winter it's just been like that. We get like a day that it's like 32 degrees and we're like in t-shirts in the shop, like woo. So anyways, I had to get a wood stove. I've been talking about it for 5-6 years. I've been in the shop, and finally this winter when we started really getting some colds, it started tipping into the single digits overnight. I had the propane heater in the shop. A lot of people also asked in videos, or have asked over the years, because they see us wearing hoodies and beanies in the shop. Some people may work in their basement or an attached garage that like is very well insulated, and you keep your shop at 75 degrees, and you can wear a t-shirt and shorts. We can't do that. This is essentially a cave or a drafty barn, so it is very hard to keep this building like really warm. So when I had just the propane heater, keeping it at 60 was like, the heater was running quite often, and as soon as the heater would shut off, you could just feel the chill come in even though the air was 60. So this has been the best thing we've done. It's been awesome. Like, we don't have to run, the heater doesn't run all day once we get this fired up and running really well. And then overnight, we've been keeping the heater on just to keep the walls up to temp. That's the big thing I've learned over the years of being in here is like, well, I would turn the heater off overnight and then come in, and the heater would have to run 7 hours to get everything up to temp in here. So now it's kind of like, it's evened out, and we're not using as much propane, because anybody that's heating with propane right now knows the cost is like double or triple what it was. It's crazy. So.
And there is a box fan.
Yeah, everybody's been yelling. I have a box fan. We put it in literally the first day. It was just when the vlog was shot. It was like as we were putting it in, like that night we put the box fan in. I bought it, right away. So we have that fan in. We have it off right now because obviously the noise of it. But we have that on. It blows the air across the shop and it actually keeps it pretty good in here. We're gonna move the thermostat eventually from the door here, probably over to the other side, what we call Steve's side, because Steve kind of hangs out on that side a lot more, and I hang out over here a lot more, and it'll keep it so that heater kind of keeps the fluctuation in temperatures from side to side a little more, keeps it even.
So we had a few questions. Someone asked how the weather was. We already covered that.
Yep, sucks. It's gonna be warm this week. We're gonna be like 40s this week. We're like, we can't wait.
Zach from Wired Customs thanked us for the door top. It worked like a charm.
Yeah, glad we could help out with that. That's one of the great things with our business now that we've built it and have the warehouse set up and Mike's spinning control and I'm not controlling the organizational part of the business. Zach emailed like days before the chop and like, hey, we need a door top. Mike's like, I got one in stock. Boom, knew what it is and help them overnight it to them and get it, just in time. So that's kind of like a high five for us to get that we were that organized for once and we could like save the day for somebody.
Yeah, it's first.
It's cool.
Someone asked the status of the shop edition.
Yeah. So we haven't really covered that in the vlogs at all. So basically, like all of that's been approved. As with any builder or of that trade, if you will. Is the sound still sucking?
Just checking.
Good. I've been on a waiting list essentially, so that with the pole barn process with a lot of these companies, I chose a pretty large pole barn company, and the problem with a lot of them is you have to there's all these steps because they get a lot of people that are time wasters. It just happens. So you get them to come out, they do the quote, then you sign a contract, which people are like, oh cool, my pole barn's going to be built. No, there's to even get on the list, you have to have your permit in hand. So you have to write a big check for your down payment on it. Then you have to wait for your permit to show up because they give you prints after you sign the contract, some of them. Then once you get the permit, then they could put you on the build list. So for us, I just got my permits finally because of all those steps it was probably the end of the winter. The end of the fall, early winter.
I think it was December sometime.
Yeah, something like that. And basically then they put me on the list. So I got a letter from them. It's supposed to be end of March.
Yeah, I think it's the last week of March.
Yeah, last week of March, they're supposed to be dropping materials and starting on it. We're building a second story on top of the shop to basically make it like a bank barn. So my shop, for anybody that's not familiar, the back wall is basically ground level. So that wall and this wall here are sunken underground. And then the building will be basically like a one-story building from that side of the building. It's only on this side where it's going to be appear taller, much like a bank barn. So which is super common in this part of the world. So we're getting that built, but I have also at that same time we have to do some groundwork and stuff around that. So we're going to probably get the building up, and at the same time I'm trying to get someone to do some hardscaping to kind of make our little ramp to get in and out of it and all that stuff. And then we also have to work on some of the flooring. And so next summer, spring and summer, we'll probably be working on a lot of that. My dad's comes back in the summer. He's really, experienced with that kind of stuff. He built a barn we had from essentially a scratch when I was a kid with my brother's help, my older brother's help. But so my dad has some experience with that stuff. So it'll be good for me and my dad to maybe work on some of that while the business is running and we're filming. My dad and I can maybe work on some of the stuff inside of the addition. The goal is really by winter next year, next winter, that we can kind of have a lot of these cars up there out of the way. I don't think the building's going to be fully done visually.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done to finish out the walls and all that stuff. Yeah,
so we want to make it like a finished space. One of the things, my dream, since literally we started the channel and also I bought the property, was I want to make that our showroom, if you want to call it that. So more of
it's a museum. We have to get tax exempt.
Yeah, we need a museum. That's what we need. All right, sorry. It'll be the Museum of IronTrap. So, but the whole goal was we have people that come and visit all the time, especially around Hershey and stuff. We get people from all over the world that will come and visit. And like always, hey, can I grab a T-shirt? Can whatever? Sorry, I don't keep them here because I'm a dirty mess, and Mike keeps them at his place. Sorry, we'll ship you one. So now we can have like that stuff there. We could put an office in there so that we can have some of the office stuff is out of my house, and everything's kind of self-contained. So it'd be really cool to have all that in there, and when people come to visit, we could also have some of our like better parts on display that are for sale. So speed equipment, stuff like that can be in there. It'll be better. So that's the plan. So end of March. So within a week they'll pretty much have it built, and then I gotta wait for garage doors.
And we're gonna shoot a vlog, or not necessarily a vlog, but a video of the building going up. I'm gonna put up a GoPro and do a time lapse of them putting the building up, so you guys can watch the process. It should be up in 2 days, which is
crazy,
kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He does have an electrician for the addition.
Yes,
I got that handled.
Yeah.
Someone asked about my car project.
Yeah. So we are filming. We've been doing these monthly vlog. Once a month, we've been doing these like we nickname them the Week in the Life of IronTrap, where we kind of just show all the craziness that goes on in a week that we don't film. So next week we are filming the one for February because we figured out that like we had a lot of neat stuff happening next week. So I am today and tomorrow working on buttoning up just some little stuff in the back end of the Sweetheart Roadster. When's the video coming out? Tuesday on the Sweetheart Roadster. I did the patch behind the door and the wheel well on the passenger side. So all the like major rot repair has been finished on the car. So I'm going to be pulling that car off the table next week. I'm really excited to get that finally off the table, because now a lot of work that needs to be done is stuff that the car needs to be on the ground. So the blending the dash into the doors, terminating the folded edge on the top of the doors, and how I'm going to terminate all that, and then working on the Duval windshield and how that's going to fit. So it's better to be on the ground. So because we have an open chassis table, which only happens once every like couple years, I feel like.
It's like a 3-year waiting list.
Yeah. We're going to be bringing Mike's stuff over next week and start filming on his car. So I had to kind of like push Mike pretty hard, because there's a couple parts he's still trying to find for the car, but I think we can get his body put together. And
I also have a very long history of not finishing projects.
Yeah, so I'm going to break that. I'm going to make sure we break that cycle. So we're going to next week be bringing his project in. We're going to probably relocate, because the addition isn't built. We're going to relocate one of my cars to Mike's garage just for storage for the rest of the winter. And then we're going to get his car on the table and get the body put together. So you'll see, like you guys might have noticed, the way I like to work for my brain and also shooting videos. We shoot like a batch of videos on a project to get major progress done, and then you won't see the car for a little while, because what we do is in the background, Steve and myself and everybody else, we're doing those little jobs that really aren't worth the whole video. So we're gonna get Mike's car. The goal is to shoot 2 to 3 videos, maybe 4, of Mike's car going together as far as the body and getting it on the frame and the doors opening, shutting, all that stuff. Then we're gonna take it off the table. Mike can actually take it home and start doing the stuff
mechanical stuff.
Yeah,
basically.
Rebuild the rear, put the front end together, and then he can bring like the front axle here, and we can do heating and bending the spindles and stuff, and then he can assemble it at home. And then when he's ready to maybe move to the next step where we need to like do some engine stuff, we can bring it here just because I have the hoist and it's a little quicker, but it'll be nice. So Mike will be doing like Jason's been doing, probably film a handful of smaller episodes at his house as he's putting stuff together and hitting those small victories. He can shoot those videos. So it's pretty exciting, because I can't wait I'm like chomping at the bit to make that car go from a pile of parts to like a 34 Cabriolet hot rod in like a matter of like 3 to 4 videos.
I already did that. There's a video of me doing that already. It's just held together with clamps.
Well, actually, like a car. So great. That's a great question. I'm glad. Keep on us about this stuff. I joke about it, but yeah, like you guys in the comments telling us what you want to see on some of the projects makes us get back on different projects, because we, it's
the shop's going to look a lot different by the end of the week. There's going to be a lot of things that are
shifted and moved and whatever. So pretty exciting.
Someone asked, where do we go to see cars and parts for sale? So we sell on eBay and Instagram. We list things first on Instagram. It's IronTrap Finds, all one word if you go to Instagram. And then our eBay store is IronTrap Garage. Someone else asked if we'll eventually create a website to sell our parts. We talked about doing that, but I'm sure we'll also still use eBay because you hit a larger global audience versus a website. It's a little bit more people that know about us.
Yeah, and that's on one of our goals for this year is to get a proper website up because it's a little difficult. Pretty much everybody seems to contact us through our web store. When they if first time somebody contacts us, they ask a question. It's always through the web store because it's difficult to navigate through. So we're eventually going to get the IronTrapGarage.com set up. We've owned the name for quite a while.
For like 5 years.
Yeah, I bought it when we first started the channel, and it's good. So we're gonna try and get that website up because then it'll be a place where you can go there, and then it'll give you links to go to each of our different places. Yeah. But to be completely honest, our parts sell so fast that Mike can't even keep up with just when we put the video out in Texas, a lot of that stuff sold and we didn't even have to put it online. So that's one thing I've been telling people in emails that are asking about stuff 2-3 weeks after a video comes out. If you see a video where we just got something, that is the time to email if you're seriously interested, because between local people in our area, word getting out from, word of mouth, and then also the video, stuff sells like that. So that Model A Coupe, it sold. We had it pretty much sold before the video,
before the truck arrived.
Before the truck arrived, because we had a local guy or local viewer that stops by, and we saw him at the Allentown swap meet. We got to talking, and he was looking for that car. So boom, it was pretty much gone. So if somebody would have maybe emailed us ahead of time or whatever, you might have got a shot. So that's my best advice.
Someone wants to know what the timeline of the Roadster pickup is.
So we're finally rolling with the with having Steve on board. We're finally getting in a really good groove now. As you guys have probably noticed, a lot is getting done on projects. So the Roadster pickup's a lot sooner than you guys think. So once Mike's car comes off the table for him to start doing just the mechanical stuff, we're gonna probably put the chassis for the Roadster pickup on the chassis table and start mocking the body up and some of the stuff.
Yeah, because we have a different frame at the warehouse. It's pretty nice. That one's got the front cross members cracked, and there's some repairs to the frame. So we have a blasted frame at the warehouse. Yep. We're gonna bring over and basically just start with new and just move things from that chassis to this chassis and just
modify. Yeah. So we're using we're partnering again with Old Yankee Speed. Matt that owns the company. We text him occasionally, and he and I were texting, I don't know, shortly after we got the Roadster pickup, not even about that pickup specifically, and I mentioned, hey, I'm thinking about putting the Macaula V8 37 flathead with the Macaula on it, blah, 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 just sharing what my plans were. He said, oh, I got this really cool bolt-in, so to speak, AV8 conversion kit, and we're going to do some partnering on that to get that going. So that's what we're going to do, is put that V8 in it. Pretty basic, AV8 kind of conversion, if you will.
Not channeled, just it's going to be a high boy.
It's just a high boy. Might even put the splash aprons, leave the splash aprons on the Model A frame, and we might just do a small step in the rear. I don't really know yet, but nothing real crazy.
Besides the blown flathead.
Yeah, but that's literally on the stand already together. So we'll walk you around a little bit, but last week I was already, again, we're doing stuff in the background now that we're getting things rolling. We got that engine on the engine stand. I've swapped around some parts. I got an offset generator mounted up with a belt. Steve rebuilt a Stromberg 97, and we got it cranking on the engine stand and got spark with our test distributor. So we're going to get that thing running and pretty much a turnkey engine so that when we're ready to put it in the pickup, we can just keep, videos could keep rolling. That's organization is my biggest hurdle, and we're getting a lot better. Yeah, so Roadster pickup will happen. I have an unrealistic goal of being able to drive it by the end of the summer. In some capacity. I don't know if that'll happen, but because it's not the Sweetheart Roadster or the 32 Schroll car, where we have to I have to fabricate half the freaking car. It should hopefully go together pretty quick. It just has a couple little patches. We are planning on painting it, but more of a 40s, late 40s, I don't want to say jalopy, but just homegrown kind of hot rod or something you would see in the old Dry Lakes photos. That's just it's one color, but I'm not going to do gap it or anything. We'll probably just
You don't need to gap it. It's a Model A. The doors overlap.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's not going to be super nice, but we're going to put one coat of paint on. It's not going to stay rusty. and then we're hoping to do like the little like boards that go above the bed, and we'll have like hand letter them with like IronTrap Garage. It'll be cool to like run to Napa and run around town and go pick up parts. Go to like
that's my driver for the warehouse.
It
when
is.
I go box parts. I'll just drive that back and forth.
That's the goal.
Nice. So someone asked about paint on my car. It's gonna be the same as the Roadster pickup. We're just gonna. It's like 9 different colors right now. All the panels are literally different colors. So it'll probably just be make it look decent and then scuff and just shoot it one color. The basis of the project is to make it as simple as possible. Try not to get really complicated with my first hot rod. There's a few questions about the 39 Merc. We are putting skirts on it. We have a set of skirts in the trunk and a set of wide 5 flippers that'll be going on it just in the front. The rear is low enough that the skirts cover the entire wheel.
Yeah, you usually can't fit
Flippers.
You can't fit those flippers a lot of times behind the skirts because of the dome that's on them, because of the early Ford rear. The snout on the drum is, or the hub is so long.
So that and the 39 Merc. I don't know if it is it considered a keeper. Probably not long term.
Yeah, the 39 Merc is a car that I've always wanted to have. Like, not always, but like since I started getting real heavy into the stuff and I started going to some of the shows in California where those type of customs are more common, I really fell in love with them. So like I wanted to have one, but I don't know, but I can't say it's a forever keeper. But please don't email us. It's not anytime soon. If I do decide to sell it, the way I do my cars, that for me, is I build them, I drive them, enjoy them until I'm bored and ready to break up with them, so to speak. So like the meat truck, I threatened to sell that for like years because I was kind of getting bored with it, and then finally it was just like, all right, I don't even drive it, I don't even look at it anymore. So that's kind of how the Merc will be. Probably once I have some fun with it and drive it for possibly years, I may get rid of it. Yes. Sound?
Someone said they lost the sound, but it's there. All right. The other thing is 39 headlights. We are putting 39 headlights back into it. They're in the trunk of the car. It just hasn't. There's more important things than headlights right now.
Yeah, everybody's like, it's funny in the videos, some of the comments are pretty hilarious. It's like people have never built a car before or like know the timeline, because like we were getting yelled at about the tires. The tires look like crap. Well, yeah, we got to put new tires on it. Some of them are like the tube is poking out. So we will be putting tires on. We will be doing the 39 headlights, but it takes a while to, we got to get the car running and driving and moving. Then we will start doing some of those fun things. But if we just do all the fun stuff right away, then it's kind of like tough to get the not fun work done. So,
Jeez,
oh, it's climbing, baby. Here we go. Turn the throttle back a little bit.
Let's see what else. Oh, when we're walking around, someone would like to explain the smoker's window of a 3334.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. And it's not even just 3334s. They used it on a number of years. The 39, the Forgotten Hot Rod actually has the same thing, has smoker's windows that, roll back a little bit. So, yeah, we could show that. That's good.
Oh, someone wanted to know why we did not go to Turlock.
Oh, yeah, Turlock, we just, it was getting closer and closer, and we've been, our momentum with getting stuff done and getting organized has been rolling so good. We kind of made the group decision that it was going to kill some of our progress with, Mike and I leaving. Mike with the parts business, now he's got a lot of stuff where things are sold, and people are scheduling to pick things up weeks or months in advance. So he has stuff that, this week and this past week and next week, people were picking stuff up. Some of them are from far away where they don't we have a guy that's coming from Florida and driving back to Canada? He only has a period of 2 days he'll be passing by. So so we had to make the decision to not go. Really, everything grew so fast when I quit my day job and flipped the switch. We're still catching up from getting everything rolling. So we kind of were
literally still going through stuff that we bought at the 35.6 buyout last March or April. I still haven't gone through all of it. So
it's pretty crazy. And we're still, most importantly, we're still filming videos that I'm giving Mike the memory card, and it's the night before, and he's editing it. He's still editing videos the night before. So we're trying to get out ahead of that because we have no safety net. If somebody gets a cold or sick or something and we need to take a week off, We don't have that right now. So we definitely need to.
We are the world's worst production company.
Yeah, it's horrible. So so that was why we decided. We got a ton of work done that last week, and like we're ready to get a bunch of projects moved around, stuff moving. I got the Sweetheart Roadster like last week. I kicked ass on that and got a bunch of that done. So like that was the decision. We were really bummed because it looked like there was a ton of neat stuff that showed up to Grand National, and of course Turlock's always good for swap meetings.
And
so
it's warm.
it's warm.
That's the
Yeah, that I missed.
that is the big factor.
That was
Kev Fritz said he wants to ride in the 39 Merc. You're welcome to come ride
Heck
in
yeah.
it when it's done.
Come drive that sucker, man.
Yeah, it's way better than driving his Merc.
Yeah, it might be a little easier to get in and out of for now.
For now.
For now.
Any updates on the 2021 challenge?
It's 2022, so that challenge has ended.
And there was a slight conflict of interests
Yeah.
about August when I quit my job and I started working for Matt.
Yeah.
Because I sell all of his parts. So it doesn't kind of work because I'd have to sell the stuff for him to win in the challenge. So it kind of defeats the purpose.
New high score.
Yeah. One of these chairs is going to catch on fire here soon.
Yeah, and really like the whole idea of starting that 2020 challenge was during the pandemic.
Actually, it started before the pandemic, and we were.
Oh yeah, that's right. It did start, but the whole idea of that was that year we get a lot of comments and messages and emails with the must be nice, and I'm not going to go on a rant, but like we work our asses off to make money to keep the lights on and get the bills paid. It is not that nice. It's a lot of work, but I literally started all of this with like $0 doing exactly what we showed. So like that first year in the 2020 was kind of like we gave it a lot of effort, but it is a lot of effort to do those videos because we have to keep it separate from the business. So it's like super hard to keep track of because now we mainly buy in bulk. So it's like, how do I, like, it's hard for Mike to track like, oh, this one piece is for the 2021 challenge, but this is not. So we kind of stopped doing it just because.
And I don't want to sell his shit if he's going to win. It kind of defeats the purpose.
I already won the first year without it.
Exactly.
So, but anyways, like that was the idea with that. So we hope that those videos might give some people some inspiration or show them how you can do this yourself on whatever level you want to do it on. Whether it is like you just want to get paint on your project car, so you need to make a couple extra bucks, you can do that. Or you can go as far as like it pays your bills, it funds part of your life. It's just how much work do you want to put in? And that's what we showed. We made it a full-time gig. We do this all the time. You can also do the same thing by watching that and hitting barns and swap meets in your area.
Very, very good question. If you could go back and tell your 10-year-old younger self one thing, what would it be?
Only 10 years.
For Matt, it's more like 20 years.
10 years ago, I probably would be, I don't know.
You were kind of doing all this crazy stuff.
I was doing a lot of this 10 years ago, but like 10 years ago, I didn't, probably, to be completely honest, it would be to try and buy some property. Like, I should have, I wish I could have, and Kate and I were just talking about this yesterday in the house. We were BSing that, like, I wish there were some properties in our little town that, like, when I bought this house. Actually, that was 7 years ago. Anyways, probably buy some sort of property because, like, properties have gone crazy. And, like, 10 years ago, there was some stuff that was in my area that I could have probably bought if I would have sold some belongings, like cars and random stuff I had laying around. I probably could have bought some property that would be, like, I could have cashed in. That or, like, invest in Bitcoin because I could have been like a millionaire or something. I don't know, but I didn't know how to do that. But like that probably would have been do that.
Yeah.
Like, so, but yeah, that's really it. If we went back like further, definitely like I wish 20, 30 years ago that I would have been like doing what I do now with the early Ford stuff and some of the like antique stuff, going to farm auctions and some of that stuff that we started our business with because that's the stuff that like, oh, sorry. That's the stuff where like I think I missed out on some great stuff by not doing that. Like going to, I was still like going to my local junkyard and scrounging for like one or two things and working really hard when I could have been going to like estate auctions and like the parts already taken off the car and are sitting on a pallet and you can buy it. So I probably would have started doing some of that earlier if I could. But 10 years ago, really, I wish I could have bought some property, like just like a piece of property that was probably like $160,000 and now it's worth like $350,000 and I could have just like paid the taxes and the mortgage, but whatever.
Mine would probably be with your status that you posted the other day, investing time in yourself. 10 years ago, I was a pretty big company man. I used to travel for a living. I was literally all over the country, Alaska, Florida, Seattle, like all within 6 months of each other. And I never really invested time in myself. I was always just like, wherever you want me to go, I'll do it. And later, about 5 years later, I started to do that. I started my own YouTube channel, working with Matt on this YouTube channel. That kind of stuff started happening, but I wish I would have done that 10 years prior. So
yeah,
that's my biggest thing.
We kind of joke. I wish we would have started a YouTube channel 10 years ago because I was doing all of this stuff on a smaller scale, but still like going out and chasing stuff 10 years ago. And if we would have like connected on making a channel, or the switch would have, flicked, we would be like, our channel would probably be insane, because it's like when we started our channel, YouTube's already so big, it's hard to overcome, and we would have hit, channel would be that much bigger back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. I
it's
stole my thunder. Yeah, that's a good one.
Someone wants to know if we're coming out to Pate in Texas this year.
I think Pate is like the same time as another event we normally do. I really would like to hit that swap because I hear it's amazing. I don't know.
Your friend's
yeah,
right here.
but anyways, I was writing on my calendar, and there's always an event that's the same time. We would like to make it. I just got to see if we can make it happen.
Someone asked if we have a podcast.
Not yet.
So we've been gathering equipment. The plan for this year is to release probably a monthly podcast. So it's in the works. We're just working out. We're kind of busy. So
we actually shot last year, or recorded. Mike and I recorded like the first episode. I think we might re-record it just to fine tune it a little bit more. But basically, the idea of the podcast is going to be how did you get into the IronTrap, which is what we call this hobby. So we're going to interview people that are like their life revolves around whatever their hobby is. So we're going to go out into some peripheral parts of the hobby or niche, their own little niche.
The chair's smoking.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wow, that's really hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you melted some of the vinyl on the back of that chair.
All right. We're plenty hot.
I just see smoke out the corner of my eye.
I can smell it.
Yeah. It's a little warm.
Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna do a podcast, and it's gonna kind of revolve around like origin story. How did you what was I remember I made a list of questions that are like, what's your switch? What was the one thing that like made you go from just like a casual collector to like, I'm going all in on whatever that thing is? Because we have a lot of friends that are like into this hobby, but then they micro focus on gauges, steering wheels, a certain type of car, or license plates. So we want to get into some of that. The idea is that we can interview people for a podcast, but then also we're hoping to shoot videos with them that will kind of support that, so you can listen to the podcast, and if you want to see some of their collection or the podcast, it'll be in that. So right now, it's just manpower is our problem.
Someone did comment, said we need a full-time videographer. Yes, we do. We're well aware.
We're kind of looking. That's one of our goals for this year, is to hire on 1 to 2 more people. One person helping Mike doing the parts business / general labor, so to speak, like an entry-level position that may be part-time to full-time. So if anybody's local and you have like maybe a younger guy, or you're a retired guy that you just want to work a couple days a week helping with some of that, we may be looking for that. But then we've been trying to, it's hard to find somebody for the video and technical aspect, because a lot of the people that are good at that, like we have Luke, a younger guy that is in a Boy Scout troop locally that came over. Luke comes by and helps us sporadically. He's a senior in high school, but like he's going to be going away to college. So that's our it's always tough. Like Luke's been awesome. He like comes over, he knows how to use the camera. He could edit if we needed him to, but like he's about to go away to college. So like if we start relying on him, then we're going to be like, oh crap, when he leaves. So
Yeah.
that's stuff we're trying to work towards, and the podcast is a good example. Like, we got everything. Mike's got the equipment. We got a concept. We shop an episode, but like, I don't want to launch it and then
6 months we shoot another one.
we do another podcast. So it's something we want to get going. So yes, we definitely would like to do that. If another thing I'll say is, if you sound like somebody, if you're crazy about collecting or have a neat collection or whatever, and you'd like us to maybe record one of these podcasts or shoot a video, send us an email, irontrapgarage@gmail.com. We are trying to launch it this year. So the idea is, when we're traveling, maybe we make a side trip and stop and visit somebody's collection just to shoot one of these and visit. It would be really cool. And that's how this all started. Some of these videos we've shot with people when we're on road trips, like the conversations we had off camera of them telling us how they got to where they're at or whatever, are like super interesting, and we couldn't fit it into the videos. That's the idea. Long-winded responses,
Yes.
you would expect.
Someone asked where we're at in Pennsylvania. We're in eastern Pennsylvania, about an hour northwest of Philadelphia. Small town called Boyertown. 39 Merc. Are we going to get it professionally detailed by perhaps another YouTuber, or are we going to do it ourselves?
We get asked a lot about like the YouTube partnership thing, which is like a big thing on YouTube. It's also like a big thing marketing wise with strategy on social media. It's good to partner with bigger YouTube channels. Honestly, the problem is it's a lot of work to get all that organized, and I have resisted doing that because I don't feel like we could hold up our end of the bargain, like with co-promoting each other. So like, I feel like we juggle so many things. A lot of these big YouTube channels, their main focus is YouTube. So like, they do a lot better at that. That's why you won't see a lot of us doing like pre-roll ads, because like, I don't feel like we do it justice, or whatever. So we'll probably just might have the other thing I should say is, we have like our old friend Kevin is like literally like my next door neighbor, and shout out to Kevin Root. Kevin has a detailing business that he does full time. He's a friend of ours. We like to support him. So like, he saw him do the 34 on that. If we're gonna have anybody do it, I would probably rather pay. That's the key word, pay, and support my friend's business. Hear that, Kevin? We're gonna pay you. Kevin likes to just do us favors, but so I'd like to do that with that car. Go over it and buff it and detail it. It needs an interior, to be honest. Like, the original interior is good, but it's pretty bad. So stage one will probably just be buff the paint, clean it up. The interior, there's not a lot to detail because it's like the seats are literally like falling apart. But yeah, we will do something with it where we like buff the paint out and clean it up. I don't think it's going to take a lot, to be honest, because it's already kind of shiny. It's been repainted before, and the bodywork is a little wavy and failing in some spots. So it's going to probably, if anything, just show off like the poor bodywork.
Yeah, and you can see like it's definitely resprayed, because like the welting between the body panels on the rear fenders, it's not supposed to be shiny black. It is been painted over.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we will be doing something, partnering with another like detailing YouTube channel. I don't think we'll be doing, just because the effort involved. I don't think we'd be able to get it done.
Does Moon have a significant other?
I wish. We've had many requests for us to have Moon puppies.
Yes.
And he's getting beyond his prime for that.
He's
but
becoming old.
Yeah, Moon doesn't have one. I'd like to. I actually want to get another dog for Moon to play with, but I want to get a real good fence put up that they can run and honestly, I don't know. Like, having two dogs, it's kind of tough to. Moon's like needs a lot of attention. So you add a second dog, then it's like, oh my god.
Someone wants to know, will the Sweetheart Roadster be finished this winter?
This winter? Like, as in, like, March is a month away?
Let's say this year would probably be a better...
My goal for the Sweetheart Roadster for this year is to have it maybe, like, in bare metal and all the major work done to it. I have an unrealistic goal of maybe, we do the local show, we've done a bunch of videos, the Wheels of Time show, which is in Macungie, which is a long running street rod, hot rod show that's like a weekend long thing. they're nice enough to give us a big booth now that we can bring cars out. So this year we're going to bring more stuff out. So my thing I want to do every year is bring an in-progress car for people to see that are watching videos. So last year we brought the Stroll car. This year it'll be running and driving and not be as much of a focus in the booth. And we hope like the Sweetheart Roadster will be one that we can have there. Maybe it's in bare metal. Not that I'm flexing that my skills are that good in bare metal, just because I won't have time to paint it.
And we learned some things from the free tee. We want to drive the car, put some miles on it, make sure everything's right before painting it, so we're not working on a freshly painted car and drilling holes and cutting.
Yeah.
We definitely learned some things from the free tee.
Yeah, so Steve's got a buddy that does engine building that he's dealt with before. So we're going to be testing him out on the Caddy engine. One of our local friends, John, I bought a old hot rodded Cadillac engine from him that's already got like all the work done to it that I was going to do to the engine I had that was stock. So we're going to be sending that engine off hopefully in the next few weeks to get disassembled, checked out, and then hopefully we'll have a good engine in there. So we might even be able to get it like you could drive it on and off a trailer by Makunji. I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything, but you will see me giving that car a little bit more of a focus because we are over the hump of metal, of rust repair. And it's a little easier for me to do like put a day's work on and get stuff done. So, yeah, I would hope by the end of the year maybe we have it drivable. Another one that maybe we could just drive. We could drive it like on and off the trailer. It would be like
it'd be big.
It'd be crazy.
Someone said about interviewing local old time hot rodders like Pete Trumbauer.
Who is it that said that? We got to know.
Jim B. It doesn't have a last name. So with the podcast, I believe Pete is going to be one of our
test subjects.
Yeah, yes. We're gonna harass him into doing a podcast. If Pete didn't know that, surprise Pete.
No, he did. We let him listen to it. He's the only person that's heard the podcast.
No, in our group of friends.
Group of friends. But like so yeah, Pete is a big tall Pete is pretty much one of the guys when I first got real heavy into the stuff that like was friendly to me. That was an older guy, and he's become basically like a second father to me. Pete's awesome. We love Pete, and he is the king of storytelling, as everybody that has met him knows. So we're going to be doing one with him. We're lucky that there is a lot of old racers and hot rodders just in literally like a 20-mile radius of us. So that is the idea, is get a bunch of them in the can, then we could start putting them out either monthly or weekly. So yeah, that would be a good one. Pete's probably number 2 after our first episode.
This is a funny question. Were you guys ever consider doing a chop and drop custom build?
Chop and drop custom build. So the Mercury is kind of a it's going to be a custom. If you guys didn't figure out with the back end lower. And man, we got ripped apart in the last video for literally just taking 3 or 4 leaves out of the back end. Like you would think that we took a Duesenberg and turned it into a rat rod for what we did. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, that car is going to be a chop and drop car. Yeah, so it's going to be a custom, and we're going to do it tasteful in a 40s Sam Barris era type custom. So all we're doing is making it look better than it did from the factory, but not a wild, crazy,
mail slot back window.
Yeah, it's not going to be bagged and candy paint. It's just going to look like an old, late 40s custom, much like a lot of the hot rods I like. It's going to be a custom style of that era. So yeah.
And mail calls, we are now shooting with our weekly vlog. If you didn't watch the last one, there was like a 5-minute segment where he opened some packages. So we're going to be transitioning mail call into the vlog to help integrate it a little bit. So we'll be shooting another one this week. We have some packages to open for sure.
Yeah, so if you're interested, if you sent us a mail call and you've been waiting, that's what the problem is. We didn't have a good way to fit the mail calls in. We were getting a lot of comments of people that just didn't enjoy a 25-minute video of mail call. So the vlog gives us that ability to we could test stuff, and if people comment and say we hate that, we just not put it in the vlog. But the vlogs overall, Week in the Life of, seems to be really popular, so we're going to keep shooting those, and we'll just put a smaller, we'll open 3, 4, 5 packages.
Instead of 25.
Yeah, and it's a lot for us to do. We had to clear out the whole bay of the shop to bring 25 packages in, so it just got to be a lot, and so that's where the idea is.
Someone wanted to know if we any T builds in the future.
We have the T already. I don't have a specific T build in mind. Now again, like with all as you guys have noticed with what we're doing with the channel, when we do these big buyouts, we a lot of times like to pick one vehicle from the collection or whatever, and then we will fix it up on the channel. So if we stumble upon a collection and there's a really neat T that's an old hot rod, old race car, or just is a good candidate, we may do one. But we don't. Right now we're like freaking overwhelmed. I don't even want to put it out into the universe that we might have another T build because it'll pop up next week, and I'm like, oh my god.
So someone asked about get info on the Circle M Speedway event in Allentown Drags. So Circle M Ranch has their own Facebook page where they post updates on the dates. Now they haven't had it the past 2 years because of the pandemic. Not sure if they plan on doing one this year. I haven't seen anything yet. And for the Allentown Drags, if you head to Facebook and become friends with EJ Kowalski, he handles all of that. I don't think they have a page for.
I think they do, isn't it?
It's a Vintage Eliminator.
Yeah.
That's right. So there's a Vintage Eliminator Facebook page, which kind of encompasses all their events. They hold a Eliminator drag class at what's the name of the racetrack?
Not Beaver Springs.
Anyway,
It's escaping me, but
yeah, they hold a almost like a monthly drag event at a full-time drag strip where they have like classes and stuff. They post updates of their races there, and the Allentown Drag information he gets posted there. I think they have dates picked for this year.
The Allentown Drags, they do. It's a fun little event. I mean, it's a super fun event to go to, and it's like a weekend thing, but it's very much focused on the driving and racing and the, that part of it. It's not as much of like a culture event where there's going to be people cutting your hair. It's literally old school hot rod guys and racers going and just having fun. So like if you're going and you bring your 10 kids with, hoping that there'll be face painting and all that kind of, no, it's good. But if you like cool cars and people that are, really into it, it's super fun. The EJ does like a spring and fall, so I think summer and fall.
Yeah, last year it was on 4th of July weekend.
Yes, that's right.
And then there was another one. Was it after Hershey in October?
Yeah.
I think it was like the last weekend in October. So I can put I think he has the flyer out already for this year. I'll put it up on our social media in the next couple of days with the dates, and we usually try and promote it ahead of time as well. Someone asked about doing a MIG weld video for beginners.
A lot of what we get these questions quite often. So, little background on me, if you guys don't know, I worked for Eastwood for 11 years.
You're that guy?
Yeah, I'm the guy. Are you the Eastwood guy? We've gotten that before. It's kind of funny. Yes, I was working for Eastwood. I spent 11 years literally shooting how to MIG weld, how to TIG weld, how to wipe your ass. Like literally everything you could think of, I had to do. I didn't have to. I did, and it was really fun. It's been done much better if you watch those. Like if you Google them, there's videos that I did that were like I actually like put the focus into making like a checklist and all that stuff. They're very good. Our channel is not that. There's other channels that do a fantastic job at teaching you how to do every little thing. I'm not detail oriented enough. We're showing what we like to do in the videos is when I'm working on a project, I will stop and show you little tips or little things that hopefully will help you. But turning on your MIG welder and how to MIG weld, I think there's a lot of really amazing videos that are already on YouTube. It's a crowded space. Everybody tries to do a how to weld video on YouTube to try and hit a viral video.
Almost like a dead horse.
It kind of is, and not that I'm trying to not be supportive. I think it's been already done really well, and I'm not going to bring anything. And honestly, those videos do pretty poorly for us on the channel when we post a video like that. So we try to just integrate it into the videos, and unfortunately, some of the videos I do are probably just a step above that, where we're speaking to people that have already kind of learned how to MIG weld. So, but watch those Eastwood videos. I broke it down really well for TIG welding, MIG welding. I think a lot of those videos have like 1 million views or close to it. So there is a lot of views on them, and they are really good for just getting jump started.
Pretty good question from Roy Boy Productions. For both of you, is the channel a 7-day-a-week job where you get to spend time on other things? It is a 10-day-a-week job.
Yes.
Or basically between the YouTube channel, the parts business, where both of us are basically 7 days a week, going full tilt, basically.
Yeah, like we have.
And we also did all this stuff while working.
Yeah, it was
full-time jobs.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Steve is like we have Steve set up as just literally a normal employee. He comes in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and he's doing his thing, and that's what we wanted. I'm probably like a 12-day a week person. Mike has a family, so like he maybe has a little less by a couple hours than I do, but like, yeah, we're definitely spending. I would say the YouTube channel takes up, probably just because of the building of the cars, takes up just as much as the parts business. But like Mike's, I don't know, you could speak on how long it takes you to edit and do the
I mean, it depends. Like the 39 Forgotten Hot Rod time lapse video, I took how many? I think there's 60 or 70 episodes on that car, and I had to take footage from those 70 episodes and compile them to a 20-minute video. So like that video took like a week to do. Some of the other videos we do around the shop, like Matt said, are way earlier in the live. I literally edit the night before or a day or two before. So I mean, editing does take up a good chunk of time, and building the cars when filming, a lot of people don't know, that takes like twice as long.
Yeah.
So not like just building takes time, but then you add a camera, you have to move it and get different shots. That adds a whole nother timeline to the process.
Yeah, I would say, Travis, Travis started a channel, so Roy Boy Productions. Check out he started a YouTube channel, and Travis has been like, he's been in the scene for a very long time. He's a Roy Boy's been a well-known thing, photographer, and he's traveling. Anyways, he started a channel. I've been watching. I watched like your last like snow rally video and stuff. Like, I think the biggest thing probably for you to that I could give as a piece of advice that I know Mike and I got set is get a cadence and a editing style and procedure down. So like for us shooting the project videos, I know how to film in a way that for the most part, that helps Mike edit it. So like when you're doing stuff, when you're filming, you're thinking of how you're putting the video together. Instead of just filming everything for 10 hours, try and think of those key shots of how you're gonna, put the video together. And then also with your editing, I know like Mike's able to do the stuff the night before because he kind of has a lot of this, things figured out. So that's all I could say for sure. That'll help get your videos like, more set up, so you're not spending as much time editing and producing and all that stuff. So yeah, it's.
So we've been at this for 50 minutes. So do you want to do a walk around and then end?
Yeah, we'll do a walk around and is there any other questions?
Someone asked about Wheels of Time and Das Oxfest. They're two different events. Das Oxfest, I think, is the end of June.
No, Oxfest is the first weekend in August.
Oh,
Wheels
that's
of
right.
Time is the last weekend in August. That's pretty much how it always is. Wheels of Time is a antique car event. It's really good if you're. I'm trying to get my head on it. It's really good if you want to go and see like all kinds of antique cars. Wheels of Time is more in tune with what our channel is. It's old hot rods, street rods, that kind of stuff. But Oxfest is super cool. There's a lot of really neat antique cars that are at that. So we're gonna try and walk around.
Oh, so someone asked, the 34 Ford is still here.
Yes,
It's not in storage. It's just in the corner of the shop.
The red 34 is still here. It's really just been a driver. I literally like last year was like, if you live anywhere in the like general vicinity of where we live, you probably saw this car buzzing around because I drove it everywhere. Drive the crap out. Drove it to get my hair cut. Drove it to get groceries, parts, whatever.
And most importantly, Argento's Pizza.
Argento's Pizza. Shout out to Argento's. Not sponsored, but we sponsor them, I think, with how much we eat there. But yeah, so Red 34's here. We've talked in the past with the Skelly family about when I am ready to, again, get rid of this car. I'm kind of like had my fun with it. We would pass it on to them. So anybody that's been emailing us over the past, 2-3 years, it is not for sale to anyone but them. If they decide to pass, then maybe. But I'm probably nearing the end of my fun with this, so I may be passing this car on. The nice idea is that we got beautiful running and driving, so like that can be a kind of like tame hot rod that we can drive around all over the place. And I can pass this one to its rightful home. That's really where I think it needs to go. The Skelly family is who needs to own it, so we're gonna make sure that that happens in some shape or form. That's the goal.
We'll just make a loop. We'll go down the front and then
so here, for the video that hasn't come out, it's coming out Tuesday. Got the wheel well all done here. I'm gonna be working on some little sections we didn't do in the video there. The back corners need some work. Got this patch done. Door is basically done other than folding this edge down. So this thing is like super solid. It's really awesome. Little sneak peek, Evolution. is reached out to us and want to do a sponsorship. They do these really cool. Their claim to fame is these really cool like cold cut saws. So they gave us one of their cold cut chop saws and a work stand. We're gonna be opening that in mail call. I'm gonna be building an exhaust for the Mercury. I'm gonna probably use that to cut some tubing and stuff with it. Should be cool.
The free tea.
Free tea is hasn't gotten driven a lot because we've been struggling with some carburetor issues and what I've found out just at the end of the summer when the carbs were taken apart again. The gas tank I put in there has a ton of crap in it. I used an old Model T gas tank, and even though I cleaned it, it's still getting crap in it, and we're having issues with the carburetor. So we have a new gas tank for the T, a stainless gas tank that is very close to the measurements of the gas tank in the car. And we're going to do the carbs over one more time again and put the new gas tank in. And I think we're going to be getting close to like reliably driving it. I've driven it around the neighborhood. I've gone, 7-10 miles away, but every single time I literally had problems with the carbs acting up, flooding it, leaving me sit on the side of the road because it loaded up and then stalled, and then the thing wouldn't start because it's 80 degrees outside. The last time I drove it was just like I was so angry. So we're gonna be working on that. Actually, I think Steve's list next week is to take those carburetors apart, go through them again, and bench test them before we put them on. So that's the free tea. Beautiful, pretty much good. We got our paint from Zimmerman Paint Supply. They were the ones that helped us match paint for the Schroll 32. They got us paint to match. I'm going to be spraying the rear fenders. Of course, with us traveling at the end of the year, we missed our warm period to paint. So we got the paint for them literally right when it started getting cold. So we're going to be painting in the spring, doing the rear fenders, some of the rear panel, and blend it in, and then literally just driving this thing. So we're hoping to do that. We're doing... is it called the Relix Riot? I apologize, Josh. Josh, if you're from the Gilmore, if you're watching, please comment. We're going to be we just signed some stuff with the Gilmore that we're doing this year again. So we're going to be doing a one-day workshop class like we did before, I think in April. Beginning of April, it's first weekend in April. I'm doing a class. I'm going to fly out, and we're going to do a little quick hands-on type thing but then in August they have their big like traditional hot rod show, for lack of a better term, on the Gilmore grounds. We're going to be coming out doing a mentorship before that with some high school students where I'll spend 3 days with them. We're going to work on one of the models that are there and do some repair work. Then we're going to hit the car show. So we're thinking about bringing Beautiful out because it's a Michigan barn find, and bringing that out to the event to cruise around while we're there, and then also just put it in the show so people can see it. So if you're thinking about hitting that event, we will definitely be doing that. We've pretty much already worked out our schedule with the Gilmore, and that is on
Someone commented, it's Relix Riot.
Relix Riot. Jesus, I said it wrong. They're already hating me. Schroll car. I finally broke down. All right, so we were picking in Delaware. I got these really cool Moon valve cover center nuts. And then I was literally eyeballing these on the ham and eBay for like months. And they are a set of Moon / I forget the other company who sold them or offered them fin valve covers for an Olds that were chromed, and they are a killer. So I finally broke down and bought them.
Steve and I and Matt had a conversation.
Yeah,
about
Steve's like, you gotta buy them.
Just buy them.
So we put them on. They look amazing. The car just really finished it out. Our Instagram, just like I gave a sneak peek.
I went up on Facebook too.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was a story, I think.
It's probably going by now, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a story up. We got this running on the center carb really good the other day. Finally, we got back around. We blocked off the outer two carbs when we did the video, and it was running like dog shit. It was because one of the reasons we didn't have those ports blocked, so it was still pulling air up through there, causing problems. So we started it, and we had a video of it idling. This week, we're going to probably have Steve work on buttoning up the fuel system, getting it running on all three carbs on the gas tank. This thing is literally a drive shaft and a couple nuts and bolts and radiator hoses away from driving. So I plan to be ripping this thing around this summer for sure. Definitely, I'm excited to get that going. But it's sweet. It's really awesome. So and Joe Somick that does some of our interior stuff. He did the T, did the carpet in the red 34. He did the seat for this car. He was over just last week doing the green carpet, and we're going to do white piping. It is going to be like freaking awesome. So he was over last week. I think that's going to be done shortly. So we'll have most of the upholstery done for this year. So I'm excited. So we'll do some videos driving this car, of course.
The other thing with metal fab, you're doing an insert on the roof, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be making a roof insert much like the Pagoda City Coupe. That's like gonna be like pleated, upholstered. So I'll make a metal roof insert, and then we'll do a pleated. We'll have Joe, stitch that up for us. So it'll be cool. Mercury, you guys already saw that. There's really nothing too new on that. We just got it running, and that's pretty much it. We got to work on. I actually think this week, I said in the video, I was going to do brakes. I think I'm actually going to start working on the exhaust because Steve has a couple days where he's not here full days. So I'm going to probably work on the exhaust myself so we're not running into each other under the lift. So that's going to be awesome because then we can get exhaust on this and actually start it, and you guys can hear it run with exhaust. I'm excited to hear how this car will sound. So it is getting dual exhaust. So if you were really mad about us taking 3 leaves out, yes, it's getting dual exhaust. And Fenton, we just got them in the mail. Fenton cast iron headers or manifolds. So that would be cool. Delorean Roadster. Anybody's been asking about that? We are in a transition, like Mike said. We're moving some cars around. So the 33.3 window. I have some work to do to it. But the engine build is going to take quite a while. The Arden build is, it's something that takes a little while to get that built. So I'm probably going to flip-flop this summer and put the Sweetheart Roadster down. Sweetheart Roadster. Jeez, DeLorean Roadster.
You got too many cars.
I know, it's a bad problem. We're going to put the DeLorean Roadster down over in the fab area and disassemble it probably this spring so we can send the frame away to get blasted, start diagnosing how bad the rust is that we need to repair, and start working on that car because it'll be good to get some videos flowing on that. So yes, we will be working on this car. We get emails about this quite often. People are excited about it. I'm excited about it. I got that engine. We showed it in the last live that I got those bronze copper heads, and we got the Jack Henry high rise. So I pretty much got an engine together. Steve's working on some carbs for that. He's the carb king right now, whether he wants to be or not. So yeah, that. Roadster pickup, like we mentioned, we found out that the body and the bed aren't even like bolted down. So we'll probably just pick a day and just like pick the pieces off and then roll the chassis. So if anybody's looking for an affordable like Model A rolling chassis, we'll probably be selling this because we're not going to use really any of it. And we're going to use our other Model A frame that we have that's already been blasted and is ready to basically get painted. So save ourselves some time. That's that. Yeah, this is the Macaula engine. We've had it sitting on the ground in the background. We bought this from Brian and his mom in North Carolina, along with the other engine that we have in the DeLorean right now, which we're probably going to pull out and put a different one in. But we bought a bunch of parts there. We did a video there. He still has his dad's kick-ass, I think it's 671 blown flathead T-bucket that's wild. That is really cool. But anyways, this is something that his dad had sitting on the ground, kept oiled, turned over by hand. You can see we got a carb that Steve went and rebuilt. We got our test distributor on.
And we had an offset generator mount in stock.
Yeah, 21 stud only. That's pretty sweet. So I got a belt just like on Friday. I found a belt that fits. So we just go to Tractor Supply because they stock 5/8 belts and you can just return them if your sizes aren't right. So we got a belt figured out for this with the generator, which is awesome. Got our test distributor. The yellow plug wires are not staying. They're just what comes on our test distributor and work well. So we're pretty much set up here. Just got to start putting fuel in it. We already checked that it cranks over good. It's got spark. We're pretty much ready to just put fuel into it and get the thing to fire. So that's going to be really cool to get this going. And we're going to leave the engine pretty mild. The most I might do is put like we did on the 39, maybe get like a Winfield cam or something more on the mild end to put in it, but we may even just leave it stock with the blower. It's kind of more for looks than it is really for that much power.
It needs 2 pounds of boost.
Yeah, exactly. This is Steve's.
This is the Stromberg graveyard.
Steve's been like, I have a lot of Stromberg carburetors over like 10 years of digging and collecting and like seriously hoarding this stuff.
These are non-big logo 97s. There's another 50 big logo 97s at the warehouse.
So Steve's just been going through all the like extra, non-marked 97s or 81. Well, the 81s we're putting aside, but like just all the like not big logo ones. He's been scavenging parts and using different stuff, and you can see he's got like it's craziness over here. So he's got the one DeLorean carb already rebuilt. That's pretty much ready to go. We're waiting on a gasket or a rebuild kit because we finally blew through all of our spare rebuild kits, and he's been using the crap out of the Eastwood ultrasonic cleaner. Literally every day this thing has been going. It's like every day he's cleaning bodies and parts. You can see he's got like a complete 48 carb all put ready to go, clean. So that's again the stuff that we've been trying to get in his organization. I literally had like 100 carburetors just in boxes
that were not organized whatsoever.
Yeah,
I have a photo somewhere of all of his carburetors on a table laid out, organizing them.
Pagoda City Coupe, really nothing to say about that other than we're just gonna drive it next summer. We're taking this to Mike's house, like we mentioned.
I wish I could fit in it. It's the only bummer. It's actually good. I can't fit in it.
Yeah, Mike could be taking it out and running around the neighborhood. This car we're just going to take to Mike's house to put on storage for the rest of the winter, which is basically a month or so while we shoot videos on his car. So the Sweetheart Roadster can go on the ground. All these cars can kind of like slide over, and we should be good.
Yeah, and Dad's car will get worked on in the spring.
Oh yeah, Dad's car is pretty much, we're at the point with his car where I've been holding off a little bit with a lot more work on it because I'm waiting for Dad to get back because he does want to tinker with me on it. But like, we got the headlight. I think in the last video we showed we got the headlights and taillights all working. Steve worked his magic there to get all that going, and I think it's just like putting it back together. We're probably just gonna like leave it in red oxide primer for this summer and just let Dad drive it and get all the bugs worked out. And I got to fix the exhaust, blah blah blah. So that's pretty much the plan. People are always asking about like painting it. I'm gonna let Dad kind of decide that. So if my dad's okay with red oxide primer, I'm not gonna yell. But if he really likes a different color, we may work around it. But it's not happening this summer. We have way too much going on. I just want to get him in that car and driving it around this summer, which will be really cool. And we're gonna try and take it back. And my friend Carl, who passed away, that we visited, or who we got it from, I'm gonna try and stop over and visit his wife and show her the car because June asked about the car the last time I saw her, how we were making out on it. So it'd be cool to show her the car. So that is, I think that's all the projects. There's more floating around, but that's that's everything in the garage. So
yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're at an hour 10. So.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate you watching the live. Hopefully this one was fairly successful with the mic and everything else we didn't cut out. Thank you guys to ask questions, all that type of stuff, and really excited for the spring this year to taking some of these cars out on the road and shooting videos and just hanging out.
Having fun.
Having fun. Thanks, guys. Catch you later. Have a great Sunday.